You're listening to the Lone Star Gridiron Sports Network.
The Wimberley Texans weekly press conference is brought to you by Wimberley Ace Hardware. Be sure to get all your Texans gear at Ace, as 25% of everything they make is donated back to the Wimberley Texans Athletic Booster Association. And while you're there, thank them for all their support.
All right, Coach Warren, gosh, these are the kind of Mondays you like to have, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt. No doubt.
Talk to me about that Canyon Lake game. I mean, that opening 75-yard drive, you looked pretty untouchable. Stover looked like he was caught in the backfield on one play and just stepped out of it and got a big gain. Next thing you know, y'all are up 24-0.
Yeah, you know, it's the game of Canyon Lake is always a tough physical game for us, and they're a young, really, really young team this year, and there, you know, some things happen, some turnovers, and quick things like that. They kind of got away from them. So, but I was pleased with our performance. You know, we took the football and you know, drove right down and put a score up, and that's always you know, a positive that you get off to a good start, kind of make a statement. It was a long drive, ate up some clock, and we executed at a pretty high level during that. So I was pleased with the way that we did some things on the Friday night.
Yeah, definitely. Your offense looked to be clicking on all cylinders, but the defense really stood out. Because what I saw, Canyon Lake, they're running their slot. They're doing it the way they want to do it. By the second quarter, they got out of their game plan.
Well, you know, that part of the last few years, they've broken it a little bit, do some things. Anytime that a team like that gets out of their, you know, breaks the slot, that works in our favor, because that is, you know, that's not their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is you know, running right at you and controlling the clock, and you know, for us to you know, get them out of that, you know, says a lot about defense. I really thought the defense played well, pretty physical, which you have to be against a group like that, you know, and so I was real pleased with them.
Yeah, definitely. If you could pull out a couple names, some of the players who stood up and really shone.
Well, you know, Beckett Bruner was one young man that I thought really played well. He had several tackles, I think a forced fumble or maybe a recovered fumble, something like that. I thought he really played well. I thought, you know, our linebacking crew did well. Luke German, who was a young little sophomore, I thought really played well for his first varsity action on a Friday night, you know, and so he'll continue to get better. And then our guys up front, you know, we're not just too terribly big up there, but, man, we are pretty quick, and I thought that caused them lots of problems.
Definitely. And this year, you know, last year's team was excellent, but this team looks faster on the offense.
Well, you know, I think we probably are. We've got you know, some returners. We've got you know, some kids that got a little bit of, you know, speed to them. So, you know, overall I don't know, but it is a fast team. I'll say that in every spot. You know, up front as well. Sometimes you don't. You know, when you say fast, you know, people might look just at your receivers or your running backs, but we've got some linemen up there that can really run too, and so that helps us out as well.
Yeah, you can't get a 60-6 victory without some seriously good line play.
You're right, and they I thought they really this group has a chance to be really good up front. You know, Caden Romo. You know, he's a 3-year starter for us, and he's over there at left tackle, and man, he really played well. I think he had 10 knockdowns the other night. You know, and so he's the leader of that group, but I thought he did a great job, and those others followed suit.
All right, and so, you know, every coach still sees things that aren't quite fixed yet. Now, what did you see that stood out that you go, we need to work on that?
Well, you know, some things execution-wise that you look at where maybe we didn't identify up front correctly, or we didn't made some wrong calls up front, didn't block correctly. There were a couple times in our pass protection that we got away from our techniques and that broke down a little bit. So a little bit too much pressure on Cody a couple of times, and so we need to cut down on that for sure. Just some our route running on some of the pass plays we called. We didn't run the right route. Those types of things, and so those just some early game mistakes that you always run into, and it's not some of those were from kids that are seasoned kids. Just all of a sudden that you get really tired, your brain starts to overthink some things, and so those are kind of expected early in the year, but we'll get those worked out before too long.
Definitely. And this time of year, cramps are a big deal. Did you have any issues with that or any other injuries?
No, we sure didn't. We didn't have anybody cramp up, so the kids, training staff did a good job of keeping those kids hydrated, and the kids did a good job of preparing themselves for Friday night. And so some little nicks and bruises here and there, but other than that, all healthy.
Definitely. And you got to give a big shout out to the community, because you not only won the game, you won the Battle of the Peanut Butter Bowl by collecting more peanut butter than Canyon Lake.
Heck yeah, if you're gonna compete, let's do it all the way around and everything, right?
I love that. And talk to me about mentally, what's the focus this week with the kids?
Well, the thing that we talked about on Saturday was really just really a day by day mentality, and so. It was a good win. It was a great start to the season, but now we're going to put that behind us. We're going to move on, and we're going to have a really good Monday. And that's really all we've focused on. Let's just have a really good Monday. We're not going to worry about anything else other than after the fact, And then when we get past Monday, then let's have a good Tuesday and so on. I think that's the key for us, really becoming the best team that we can. And last year's team was one of the reasons they were so successful, because they really did a great job of just focusing on the daily task at hand, and then just attacking that task, and then once Friday night rolls around, then things worked out for us in our favor quite a bit. So that's kind of what we're at right now. We're just going to go out there and attack this today, attack Monday like best we can, and see if we can get better today.
I love that. Well, I'm gonna break that rule, and now I want to focus on this coming Friday.
Okay.
Piper, they put up 62. So, what's the challenge there?
Well, first off, a really, really good football team. And, they're a young school. So last year, no seniors last year for them, a lot of underclassmen. And so now everybody is back. They have a full senior class. And so much improved. They've gone through spring. They had spring ball. So when you look at them on paper or on film, man, just a really, really good football team. They do a lot of things well, execute at a high level, and so it's going to be a tough task for us on Friday night, no doubt.
And what have you seen on their film? What can we expect offensively and defensively?
Well, offensively, they're going to be in the spread, and they got a really good quarterback. Last year, he had broken his collarbone, and so he was on the sideline when we played him. So we didn't see him. We had seen him on film, but we didn't see him live, and so he is really makes a big difference for them. Back there is directing the offense, run a lot of RPOs, so they're going to read it, and he does a great job of getting the ball out and distributing it. So we're going to have to get some pressure on him. That's going to be a tall task, because they do a good job protecting, plus he gets the ball out pretty quick, but we have to do a good job of that and not letting him get comfortable back there. And then defensively, they're pretty fast. They run to the ball pretty well. It's a little bit different look than what we would normally see defensively, and so they're not going to give up big plays. They're going to make you earn everything, and so we're going to have to be very patient with what they're giving us, and going to have to be able to run the football on a Friday to be successful. Right now that's what we do best, and we're going to have to for sure do that on Friday.
I love it. Well, Coach Warren, congratulations on the opening week win, and best of luck this week.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it.
Did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, the Brotherhood of Texas High School Football. All football players, past and present, who have ever suited up in the Lone Star State are eligible. Go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. And thank you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.